So finding your seat. Just taking a moment to look around the room. Just notice where you are. Again, just taking in the objects, the light, right? Your home, objects that you love. Just connecting to this moment, this time and space, up and down, right? Orienting to this moment. And then closing your eyes, draw your attention in to what's happening in your body in this moment. Aware of your breath. Aware of heartbeat. If you can feel it, you can feel it through your body, or you can bring your fingers to the front and side of your neck, or your wrist, or your belly, upper belly. Let your next exhale lengthen. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pausing. Right, there may be some more breath coming in or leaving. Just suspending the breath. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, suspending the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Again, using the 4 count as a template, right? So it's not rigid, it's just a guide for fuller breath. Maybe the body can take in even more. 5 counts. 6 counts. Again, that dance of softening to move more breath in and out, or receive more breath in and release more breath out. And bringing palms together in front of your heart, still with that sense of the breath, almost like the tide rolling in and out. Again, maybe there's a slight pause, maybe just the continuum of the breath. Notice what feels right. Notice the difference. One may be a little more energizing, one may be a little more calming. What does your body need? Right, adding the pauses will slow things down. The continuum, again, almost energize. So that as we own, letting the vibration move, sift, sort, shake, vibrate. Inhaling. Oh. Stretching your legs forward. Okay, let's start on our backs. Oh. Okay, just taking a moment to feel the floor and that touch against your back. and that stable, sturdy presence behind you. So hands on your lower belly, or actually one hand on your upper belly, right, below your ribs, but upper belly, and one hand on your lower belly, just above your pubis. Good, and in a sense, trying to let the breath find both hands, right, lower hand, upper hand, or the inhale. And as you exhale, emptying under upper hand or lower hand, upper hand, or upper hand, lower hand, just notice the pattern. Good, one more breath like that. And then I'm going to take one of those hands, bring it behind my head, lift the head up. And then just feeling, right? Just feeling the tissue, right? From pubic bone to belly button, around the belly button up to the rib cage, right? All should be a little engaged. But sometimes one spot is a little more engaged and one is a little less. See if you can almost exhale through the mouth and let all of it turn on. Good, and then both hands behind the head. Let the head or the hands lengthen or help draw the head away from the pelvis. So not just lifting, but elongating. Good. Inhale again, right? Your abdominals are still engaged. Back is still engaged. And let's extend right leg out. So about a foot off the floor, or the foot ends up a foot off the floor. Again, keeping that front body engaged, letting the back body stay close to the floor. Right, notice if your lower back swings up off the floor. And then right foot down, pause. Let's inhale, let the head roll down. So upper spine, neck, and head roll down. Let that big breath come in. Base of body, bowl of pelvis, circumference of waist, fullness of ribs. And then as you exhale, feeling the head back up. Again, finding that focus in the cylinder of the body. So not just front, but back, sides, from the base to the top. Let's extend that left leg. Again, foot just hovering about a foot off the floor. Good. The breath will continue to cycle in and out, even though there's this kind of engagement. And bending the left knee, foot on the floor. Inhale, again, letting the muscles stretch. Right, with the big inhale. Belly expands, back expand, ribs expand. And again, as you exhale, drawing everything in. Again, aware of lower belly. Even the lift through the pelvic floor, perineum, right, anal sphincter, vaginal sphincter, urethral sphincter, all the way in the front towards the pubic bone. And then let's do right leg again. Left leg to meet the right. Again, waist is heavy. Head is lifted. Hands helping to lengthen the neck. And then bend one leg at a time. Inhale. Again, letting that softening in the front neck and the belly. And exhale, rolling the head up, waist is heavy. Feeling the engagement right? Is it feel somewhat balanced from the lower all the way to the upper? Front, back, sides, and then extend left leg, right leg. And then bend. And inhale. One more, right? Letting that inhale soften, lengthen. And exhale, roll the head up. Again, maybe a slight lift in the pelvic floor, 20%, right? Just the engagement, the whole length and width of the pelvic floor, the length of the front body, and then straightening both legs. Finding your breath. Good, and bend, and release. Right, just touching into that. So now let's take right hand, or let's take arms up to the ceiling, knees bent. And I'm going to bring the arms back towards the wall behind me, closer to the floor. So I'm not going to hit my full end range of motion and then come back up. And then arms back towards the wall, to the floor beneath me, and come back up. So the arms come closer to the ears, to the floor, but I'm working my way there. Listening for the movement that feels good. Aware of the movement that feels a little more challenging, and just kind of moving back into the space of what feels fluid, what feels good. Good. One more. Down and up. And then I'll take the arms overhead and just let them rest for a breath or two or three. Noticing jaw, throat, shoulder, ribs. Good, and then bringing the arms back up again. So right arm, I'm just going to bend the elbow, bring the hand to the floor, fingers facing towards the bottom of the mat. I'm going to take the feet a little wider and then let that left arm come out to the side, so away from the body. And then let both knees drop left. Letting that right hand stay connected to the floor. It doesn't have to be a lot of force to keep it there, but as the pelvis turns, I'm going to let the weight press into the feet, or the feet press into the floor, and let the pelvis turn. And so I end up on my outer left hip, on my outer left ribs and shoulder, spreading that right hand into the floor. And then slowly come back. And again, knees drop left. Pelvis starts to turn, ribs start to turn. Again, not so much pushing the belly forward in space, but letting the back of the pelvis and the shoulder blade into the ribs move forward. And then slowly roll back onto the floor, slowly enough so you feel the body roll into the floor. And one more time. Knees drop left, pelvis rolls, ribs roll, hand stays heavy. And then maybe take a breath here and just let that right arm and right knee lengthen away from each other. And then slowly roll back. Release that right arm. Let's take the left arm. Right, so palm to the floor, fingers facing down towards the feet, towards the bottom of the mat. And right arm away from the body. Okay, knees drop to the right. Again, step into the feet a little to turn the pelvis and the ribs follow. Head turns. And then slowly roll back. Again, using the speed to inform the body. Again, that right, moving faster, right, is more energizing, more engaging, slowing down. Not always, but tipping right, letting the pelvis turn, ribs turn. I do realize that sometimes slowing down is sometimes very uncomfortable for people. And rolling back. One more time, knees tipping right, pelvis rolling, ribs rolling, rolling onto outer right hip, outer shoulder and ribs. And then again, take a breath, letting that left elbow and left knee just expand away from each other from the inhale. And then slowly rolling back. Good. Okay, arms out to the side. And just one more, right? Swinging or dropping knees right. Let's actually we'll do one swing. And center and knees drop left. And center. Again, letting the head roll, right? It'll just soften the upper body. And center, and then as we drop right again, let that left leg trace around the right leg towards the right hand. And back to where we started. Knees up, drop left, swing the right leg, and let it come back. And just two more times. Swing the left leg to the right hand and come back up. And swing the right leg around the left leg and back up. One more time each side. Letting it be more fluid. Maybe the head rolls away just to find some ease. Let's actually do one more because it feels so good. Right head can roll towards the straight leg or away. Good. And then roll to your side and come up to sit. Okay. All right. So on hands and knees, and I'm just turning to show a different angle. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips, cushion under the knees if you need it. But I am going to take that right foot out to the side. Right, so my toes are pointed same direction as my fingers. That's where you get to see my straight arms. Good, and I'm just going to curl the back toes under and let the hips pull back towards the heel and shift forward. And then I'm going to point the back toes and shift back towards the heel and shift forward. One more time, toes under, shift back, just stretching the toes, sole of the foot, and shift forward. Point the toes and shift back. Right, different engagement through the foot. All right, so I'm going to take right hand to the floor or let it stay heavy on the floor. So right hand and left knee almost pull towards each other so I can turn the breastbone to the left arm up. And then left hand back on the floor. Same thing. Right hand, left knee pull towards each other, left arm up to the ceiling. Turn, look up, and left hand down. Let's go the other way, easy way. So right arm out and up towards the ceiling, or easier for this kind of rotation. And right hand down. And again, maybe right foot and left hand pull towards each other, right arm up. And let the right arm come back as the ribs keep turning towards the ceiling. Good. And right hand down. Knees together. Left leg out to the side, toes forward. Okay, left hand again is going to pull slightly towards that left knee, or sorry, right knee to left hand, right arm up. Right, less movement, but creates more, or less feeling of movement, but creates more movement. How's that for a conundrum? And then again, pull, right? There's more opposition, which will create more movement. Right arm up, look up if you can. And down, left arm up. Again, let your breath take you there. Right, the mind is still quite fast, quite busy. Left hand down. Inhale, feel the movement. Feel it rather than just doing it. And left hand down. Good. Knees together. Let's step that right leg out again. So we'll just do one on each side. So right hand pulling towards the left knee, right? Feel again that engagement through the front body. So the ribs start to lift as they turn. Left arm up, look up. And then take that left arm and thread it under the right arm. Reach it towards the right foot. So I'm bringing my left back of arm, maybe the shoulder, and the back of the head on the floor. Good. Right hand is holding more of the weight and maybe pressing down to turn the ribs a little more, maybe. One more breath. And then slowly come up. Inhale the right arm up. Again, feel the inhale, feel the movement. And as you come down, I'm going to thread between that left hand and left knee. Again, I'm on the back of the arm, letting that back of the head, right just behind the ear, that right ear on the floor. Maybe the shoulder. The left hand is helping to navigate the rotation or just the stability. And again, breathe through it. Notice what's working, what's softening, what's overworking, what's resisting. And slowly come back to center. Knees together. Other side, left leg out, toes forward. Okay, left hand pulls towards the right knee and vice versa. Let's take that right arm up. Look up. And then that right arm swings down and through between the left hand and the left foot, reaching towards that left foot. Back of the arm, back of the shoulder, back of the head. On the floor. Again, pressing into that left hand, maybe just for stability or to play with rotating the ribs to the ceiling more, the breastbone to the left. Softening neck and jaw and shoulders. Noticing the feet, the legs. It's pressing into that left hand and come back up onto both hands. Left foot and right hand pulling towards each other, left arm up to the ceiling. And then take that left arm under. Between the right hand and right knee, reaching. So I'm coming down on the back of the arm, maybe the shoulder, maybe not. This side, it feels like I'm just listening to the floor, but I'm not quite down. Right hand for stability, or maybe a little play into that rotation. And then slowly come back to center. Okay, so initiating from your pelvis, right? So I'm just going to play with sitting bones down towards the floor, tailbone down, lifting, spreading lower back, middle back, upper back, letting the head drop. Opposite, sitting bones pull back and up, lower spine follows, middle spine. It starts to sink towards the floor, shoulder blades back, head up. And again, just slow it down for another one. Feeling the breath move the body, feeling curious about each sensation. And then maybe if you want, you can go a little faster, but can you keep the sensitivity? Back body, front body. Noticing the hips. I'm noticing one buttocks is turning on, one isn't. There's a little more tension on one side of my mid back. Less mobility in one shoulder, and come to neutral. Okay, so let's just curl toes under and pull hips back. Maybe walk the hands forward for a moment, little child's pose with the toes under. Hands forward, and then maybe keep that longer spread. And I'm gonna come forward again. Sitting bones start to curl down and forward towards the hands, maybe just moving towards a little bit of an extension, front of the hip, and pull back. And again, shift forward, tailbone curls to pubis. Pubis starts to pull up towards those lower front ribs. Extension and pulling back. Last time, again, sitting bones down into the backs, legs forward, tailbone forward, pubis lifting, eyes lifting. Maybe the knees come off the floor this time, maybe. And knees down. And pull back. Okay, let's pull the knees off the floor. So I'm in a, call it a beast, but I'm gonna pull the hips back and then shift the hips forward towards plank. Pull the hips back, buttocks towards the heels, knees are off the floor. Shift forward towards plank. Last time, pulling back. And forward. So I'm still getting that posterior tilt in the pelvis, but the thighs are staying lifted and the ribs are staying lifted. And then I'm going to pull up and back, downward facing dog. Good. Lift the heels, lower the heels. Let's bend the left leg and let that right heel sink towards the floor. So, or drop back. Right, so the right heel almost pulls back away from the toes, lengthening the sole of the foot as that right hip pulls back. Good, lift both heels. Let's take the left heel back and down, left hip back. The ribs are still drawing back, hips are still drawing back. Good, both heels up and switch. Right heel back and down, hips pull back. And lift and switch. Good, and lift both heels down. Good, let's walk the feet to the hands. Fold over the legs. Good. And bend the knees. Let your ribs drop onto your thighs. Let's straighten one leg, right leg. Keeping those ribs heavy. The pelvis may want to shift towards the bent leg, but maybe keep the right hip up over the right foot. And then bend both knees, straighten the left leg. Again, left hip over the left foot. And bend both knees, straighten the right leg. Spreading through the foot. And bend both knees, straighten that left leg. Spreading through the left foot. Soften, widen, spread that foot. Bend both knees and let's round up to stand. Okay. All right. Actually, we might come back down for a moment and we'll come back up. Okay, so I'm just going to come to the back of my mat. Chin to my chest, and I'm going to round down. So as the head comes down, the breastbone comes back. So this back can spread to let the crown of the head curl towards the belly button and then curl towards the pubic bone. So the lower back can widen as I come down. And then let's do it again. So I'm keeping the legs straight. I'm going to pull the hips forward again to let the crown curl towards the pubis and towards the belly button. As I curl all the way up. Upper back spreading, back of the neck spreading. Head comes up. One more time. Head tipping forward. As the head comes forward, the breastbone comes back. The spine spreads back. That mid spine spreads back. Right, that juncture where the lower rib area, the kidney area spreads back. Below the kidneys into the lower back, top of sacrum spreads back. Come all the way down. We're going to walk forward to downward dog again. And just pause. Shift to plank pose. And lower the knees down. Okay. All right, one. Well, let's play with. Oh no, here we'll do. Okay, so right leg back. And we're just going to do one leg at a time. We're going to trace along the floor, taking that right leg out and around and forward, straight leg. And bend. Right, leaning into that right foot, following the toes, so knee towards toes. And shift back. And trace back around. Maybe even let the right leg swing to the left to look back at the right foot over the left shoulder. And center. Left leg back. Again, tracing around to the left, out to the side of the room. Forward to the left hand, plant the sole of the foot on the floor. And bend the left knee, kind of lunging towards that left foot. Getting through inner thighs. Groin, straightening the leg, slide out to the side of the room and back, swing that leg across to the right, look back at the foot and center. Okay, so I'm going to take that right knee and just lift it off the floor. We've done these on our back. So I'm just going to make a little circle with my right knee. Like I'm drawing a circle on the floor. Again, making the circle smooth, changing direction. Again, slow enough, smooth enough so the body and the breath can sink together. And settle down, right knee down, left knee up, little circle. right? Letting the hands and the other leg organize just enough to support the movement. Right, see if you can soften that left hip as the femur moves. Or allow the movement. Change direction if you haven't already. And then come back to neutral or center. So this time I'm going to make a slightly bigger circle. So right knee comes off the floor. So I'm going to internally rotate that knee and bring the knee across. Like I'm trying to fill in the empty space. Across the left knee, towards the left hand, right hand, up and out to the side. Little external rotation. Right foot reaches across to the left side of the room. Down, internally rotate, forward. Externally rotate as I scoop out and up and back. And one more. Good, and then change direction. So going out and around to the right hand, to the left hand, across the left knee, and even down behind the knee and across behind, and then lift and around and down and across and behind the knee and up behind the hip, around to the right shoulder and down to the left hand, around behind the left knee and up and around and come down. And other side. You can have hands on blocks if you need to. Okay, so circle, bigger circle. I'm going to take the left knee across the right knee towards that empty space between the knee and the hand. And then go towards the left hand, out and up and back. And down and across the knee towards the right wrist, left wrist, up and out from the shoulder or from the hip. So left foot comes back towards the right side of the room. Let's even take it down behind the right knee. Trace around the right knee towards the right wrist, left wrist out and up, knee out and up from that left hip. Back towards the right side of the room, down behind the right knee, around the right knee, forward to the wrist, other wrist out and up. Let's change direction now. Coming from the back and around, forward to the shoulder, down to the right wrist, trace around the right knee, go behind the knee, then pick it up, out, forward, down, trace to the front of the knee, back of the knee, up. One more. Good, and down. Okay. Just pull the hips back, slide the hands forward. Good. Lifting, peel the fingers off the floor, even the palms off the floor, and reach the palms forward. Hands completely off the floor, like you're flexing the wrist. And palms down. Now keep the finger pads on the floor, lift the palms. So you're just up on your fingertips, finger pads. Good, and then walk the hands back in. Round yourself up and come up. Okay, now let's come up to stand. Just play with some standing movement, standing balance movement. So you want to have somewhat stable surface. Less cushion is more. Okay, I might have to turn it at an angle. Okay, so I'm going to take front foot. I'm going to take both feet slightly internally rotated because it's more stable, right? The toes are turned towards the center line. Front knee is bent. Back leg is straight. right? Thighs are pulling towards the center. And I'm just going to play with a little arm movement. So taking arms forward and up. So as I take the arms up, the back hip, right? The straight leg hip moves forward. And then arms swing back. And then I'm going to take the arms to the right. And swing both arms to the right and back. And then swing both arms to the left and back. And then play with straightening the feet out. So now they're more parallel, facing forward. Same thing. Arms up, back, straight leg hip swings forward, or swings, moves forward. Arms swing back and down. Now arms go to the right again, right and up, and then swing back, and then left and up, and swing back. Now I'm going to turn the toes out, both toes, front leg and back leg. Legs are externally rotating, right? A little more challenging. Arms up and swing back. Arms swing right and back. Arms swing left and back. And step the back foot forward. Yay! Okay. Other leg. I have to remember what leg I was on. Just do the other leg. So internally rotate both legs so the toes turn towards the center, so the knees and the thighs turn towards the center. Good. Back of pelvis moving forward. Arms forward and up. And swing back. Arms swing away from the bent leg and back, and swing towards the bent leg and back. Let's bring the feet more point forward. Arms up and swing back. Swing away from the bent leg and back. Swing towards the bent leg, or across the bent leg and back. Externally rotate both legs, front and back. Again, a little more challenging. Arms up. Swing back away from the bent leg and back and across the bent leg and back. Stepping the back foot in. Yay! Okay, first side again. Front knee is bent, back leg is straight. And I'm just gonna bend the back knee, leaning back just a little bit, not arching, I'm not rounding. I'm just leaning back a little bit. So the sitting bone moves forward and then straighten. One more time, bend and lean back. Take the arms up and then straighten. Maybe let the arch happen there. Look up, maybe the arms lay back. Take the arms more neutral. Again, drop the back knee, lean back. And straighten the back leg. Lift the chest. Arch back. Upper spine. And come forward. Step the back foot in. Other side. Oh. Right, so the front ribs stay somewhat down. Most of the movement happens in the upper spine, ideally, right? So the initiation from the sitting bones. Okay, back knee down. Arms can be forward and straighten. A little bit more of an extension in the upper spine. And then you can even take the arms forward, a little bit of flexion in the upper spine as the back knee bends. And straighten. Extend through the upper spine, lay back. And flex. And bend. And straighten. And extend. And back leg steps in. Stand on both feet. Yay. 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 Okay, one more balance. So again, that was probably with the feet parallel. So we're going to play with shifting the feet again. So first side, internally rotate, a little more stable because we're engaging the inner legs. And let's take the arms forward where my breastbone is facing right now, towards the bent knee. And then I'm going to play with opening up away from the bent knee. And then crossing the bent knee. And again, turning away towards the straight leg. And then crossing. Center, let's bring the feet more parallel. Again, turning away from the bent knee, more of a warrior two shape. And then crossing, right, rotated lunge. And one more time, opening towards the straight leg, away from the bent knee, and crossing. And then let's play with externally rotating both legs. Again, a little more challenging. Turning towards, open, and then turning across. You can separate the feet, right? Put more width between the feet. Again, turning towards the straight leg and crossing the bent leg. And step forward. Hard. Oh, it's hard. Okay. Change legs. Internally rotate both legs. Good. Opening. Right pelvis turning away from the bent leg. Turning towards the bent leg. Turning away from the bent leg, more of a warrior two variation. And turning across. Feet more parallel or turned forward. Again, opening. Again, moving slow, using your breath. You can even use your eyes, let your eyes follow your hands, or your eyes can find a fixed point of focus. Turning away from the bent leg, turning across the bent leg. And externally rotating both legs. Good. Turning towards the straight leg. And across the bent leg. Towards. Vary the eye movement, right? Either fixed or following. And then step the straight leg in. Yay. And come back to center. Okay, so we're going to set up for a headstand. You can be at the wall. You can be in the center of the room. If you don't want to bring the legs up today, you can use blocks at the wall. I will. I'll show both. Hopefully you can see. So interlacing fingers, keeping the little fingers uncrossed so that the outer edge, the outer blade of the hand is stable. I'm just going to do one layer. Too much squish can be unstable. Right, so we want the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, the outer hands to be our stability. Right, top of the head on the floor. So the head is surrounded by the wrist, but not falling into or not rolling into the wrist. Then pressing down through the forearms, lifting the knees up, walking the feet in,
Good. And as you start to load, can you shift more weight into the wrists? So you're balancing the weight between the wrists and the head. Forearms, wrists, head. One knee into your chest. Start to peel the other foot off the floor. Balancing with the knees into the chest. Knees start to lift towards the ceiling. And then feet start to lift. And keep refining your balance. There's strength, but there's a lot more alignment, balance. Just the gentle relationship of stacking. When and if you're ready to come down, if you're still up, stay up. Come down slowly. Leave enough energy to come down with slow, focused movements.
Good. When you're ready to come down, slowly, again, come down with focus. You can do child's pose or downward dog. Downward dog is nice to let the head hang. Okay, and so I just grabbed a chair. You can use a chair, you can use the edge of a couch, edge of a table. And you'll need one block and some kind of surface. Okay. And a cat. Although they don't really stay in place. They're not totally reliable. This one thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna lay on my back, feet on the edge of my chair or table or bed or couch. Good. Little anterior tilt. Little posterior tilt, right? Pressing into the foot. Right, so it depends on, it's actually easier to be more on the midfoot and ball of foot. Right, we step into the heel. We lose that posterior tilt. So I'm gonna come up, right, lifting the sitting bones up into the backs of the thighs. And then I'm gonna tip my block towards me and let my sacrum rest on the block. Right, so part of the block, the edge of the block that's closest to the chair, is off the floor. And the sacrum is just resting on that top edge of the block. So the block is on the tallest height, on the highest height. Sacrum is on the block. Block is tipped towards the head.
feet on the chair. Right, just a simple inversion. Good. And you can play with keeping the feet where they are. You can straighten the legs onto the surface of your chair. Again, I'm not looking so much for a back bend in my upper spine, right? I want a smooth, continuous arc and letting the front hip have some room to open. Right, so that the tailbone and sitting bones are still a little bit higher than the top of the sacrum. Hands can be on body, hands can be off the body. Arms can even be out or slightly above the shoulder, softening the neck and the throat. Right, you should feel pretty supported and suspended. Again, but use what, if you need to keep the arms close or hands on the floor or feet on the chair to feel more secure, please do so. Softening throat, back of neck, base of skull. Right, we're really kind of inverting the body enough in a passive position. Right, one is a cooling, restorative posture. Right, we're changing the pressure system, right? So sometimes there's a little navigating through the pressure system in your body. Blood flow. Right, what hasn't been moving, maybe there's a little more support for movement. Venous return, lymphatic return, or drainage. You can do just a little simple movements through fingers and toes, hands, ankles, just simple, not even stretching, much more subtle, much more soft. And then in your own time, taking 5 breaths. Again, not interested in the completion of the breath, but being curious as to what kind of breath gives you the effect that you need right now. Is it through the mouth? Is it through the nose? Is it soft and diffuse? Is there a little more focus? Notice what your body needs. Be curious and receptive to listening, learning. What else can soften? Good. And then let's bend the knees after you've done your 5 breaths. if you have room, if you have space, right, if you're not that close to your couch or chair, and you can step your feet onto the floor. If there's not enough room, that's fine. Just put your feet flat on the chair. Good. 2 more breaths here. If your feet are flat on the floor, just the sense of the side body softening and lengthening. The outer hips, the outer ribs, the outer thighs, the outer ankles and feet. Good. And then maybe step, if your feet can easily come to the floor, you can lift your, again, posterior tilt, scoop the hips up. So either feet on the chair or feet on the floor, posterior tilt, hips up, block out, slowly, slowly lay the spine down. Slow, 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 slow. Slow, especially through kidney area, lower back. Lower back into the sacrum. Good. And then scoot yourself in or reorganize yourself so that you can have your legs on your couch, chair, table, right, supporting the whole of the lower leg. So behind the knee and the heel, the upper lower leg and the lower leg. And either hands on body or off body, you can put a blanket on your chest. This time really following your breath. Just noticing what your breath falls into, the rhythm, the pacing. Maybe quite shallow breath, and that's fine. Just noticing. Notice what feels good in your body. Notice what feels good. What feels soft, what feels nourished, what feels held. And as we are able to feel and to touch into that goodness, there's more capacity, there's more nourishment to support the spaces that don't feel good, to hold them, to even remind them of their goodness. Just a sense of your vitality and health. Just appreciating your abilities. Your energy. All the systems working.
Just even a simple appreciation for your breath. And notice the softness and receptivity in your body, in your breath, your heart, your mind. And then so gently bending your knees. Just feeling that, maybe drawing the knees into your chest as you move, bend, you can even straighten. Just fold into a little nut on your back. And maybe roll your little seedling onto its side. And slowly up to sit. And palms together in front of your heart. You can stay laying down or upright. Again, just feeling into your heart. Maybe it's the beat of the heart. Maybe it's the depth of the heart, the fullness of the heart, the expanse, the compassion, the tenderness. And let's finish with one Om. Namaste.